Hello, my name is SairamVinjamuri, and judges, I'm speaking for the first time today. Give me a thumbs up when you're ready. Right. Performance-enhancing drugs, or PEDs, have been frowned upon in the sports industry. However, today I'm going to prove that PEDs should be legalized. Now, our country was built on the ideals of freedom and our pursuit to happiness. Well, isn't the government banning performance-enhancing drugs infringing on our First Amendment rights? If our government wants to limit something, shouldn't they be limiting alcohol? Alcohol is perhaps the only substance that is proven to increase domestic violence, abuse, and murder in cases such as drunk driving. If you think about it, where's the ban on alcohol? Oh wait, my apologies, there was a ban on alcohol. It was called the Prohibition era. During that time, our government spent millions of dollars trying to prevent people from bringing in alcohol to the country. Instead, gangs such as the Irish mob and mob leaders like Al Capone became increasingly wealthy just because they were supplying alcohol to common people. Our ancestors were buying alcohol illegally. And now, is that any worse than players using performance-enhancing drugs? People argue that performance-enhancing drugs means that it's not going to be an even playing field. It's not going to be fair to other players. Well, I'm sure all of us kids have heard that life isn't fair. It's time to tell some of those adults that, because life isn't fair. Sports aren't always fair. When it comes down to it, isn't a player with more money and with more resources going to be able to afford better training? Isn't a player going to be able to afford to be a better player simply because he has the means to? A poor individual can't afford what Eli Manning or Peyton Manning or Brett Favre or any players can afford. Lance Armstrong used performance-enhancing drugs, and he was stripped of all of his titles simply because of that. Are we saying that he has any less ability simply because he used a drug? Are we saying that he's still not a good bicyclist? No, we shouldn't. Now, a bit of a science lesson for all of you. EPO. This is a drug that increases your red blood cell production. Your red blood cell production is vital in your energy source. That drug is illegal. But something called high altitude training, which does the same exact thing, increases your red blood cell production, is legal. Two resources which does the same exact thing. One is legal, one isn't, simply based on the intake. I'm sure that we're all aware that caffeine is a drug. For you adults out there, and even for some of you kids, how many cups of coffee do you drink on a daily basis? And how many of you have admitted to even yourselves that without coffee, you probably can't get by with your day? Should we ban those drugs too? Should we ban the drugs that without we might not be able to function? Now, yes, abusing performance-enhancing drugs is wrong. But guess what? Seeing the United States government has openly condemned it, they can't even prevent abusing them because people can obtain them illegally. When did it become more rational for us to consult a drug dealer on the street than our own doctor? My fellow senators, I think that you can see that banning these PEDs poses no benefit to our country. At least if we legalize them, our government can start producing studies on showing what dosages that people should take. Doctors can start advising players on the quantities of their intake and how they take them. Thank you.